Everything old is new again. America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, bark like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies? Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Welcome to Everything Old is New again. Am I playing games with your heart? Mr. Performance himself, David Cohen, how are you?
I'm well. Are we doing that subject that's so near and dear to my heart again?
We are. Concerts 2022, Part 2. The question is, out of the touring bands, if I'll say that, or artists would be a better way to say it, which would you want to see? Which would you not want to see? I think by playing the Backstreet Boys there, we have to acknowledge, and this is kind of weird for us, for me anyway, that the Backstreet Boys back in the day in the 80s was our youth, but we were sort of, I know, was never into them, whatever. But they were popular, they were big. Now they, and to me they were new, right? Like the New Kids on the Block, whatever. Now all of a sudden, they're the old group. They're doing a reunion tour, and they're appealing to people probably in their 40s, I'm going to guess, right, and 30s, and they're experiencing what we experienced, I think, 20 years ago when we started to see, whatever, Rod Stewart come around, or the Stones, or whatever. Does this make sense? Bands that have been around for so long. I don't really have a great feeling. I would never go see the Backstreet Boys, but if I grew up with them instead of growing up with the Beatles, would I go see them now? Would it be exciting? Would you sing along like those people in that audience did? I think you would, no?
I imagine you would if you were into them when they were popular, sure.
And so here, it's like the next generation of I would just say
a band desperate for money and willing to go on tour to make money.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. I don't know. I think that there's a question in my mind before I go any further. Is do we have a need internally to time travel, let's say, and see and hear these bands or these artists that we saw when we grew up? And if we do, is that what's driving it on the audience side?
You mean like a nostalgia thing? You want to recapture your youth by going to see a band that you grew up with?
Yeah, and you saw them 20 years ago and with a girlfriend. Now you're married to that woman with a couple of kids or something.
Well, I mean, that's what music is about, right? I mean, it could bring you back to a certain place and time in your life that, that I think that's one of the great things about listening to music.
All right, so now springboarding off of that statement then, the question is, if a band or a performer no longer exists, and we have a whole nother generation of artists, let's say, that are these imitation bands. You're not seeing, Queen. You're seeing almost Queen, or maybe King or something.
Almost Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, almost Queen.
Do you go see them? Is that of interest? Where do we stand there?
I do not go see them. Is that a good answer to your question?
It's a valid answer because I don't know. Like I see bands that are
like partial reunions, right?
Not even that. Like
just like complete cover band.
Yeah, let's say you don't see Billy Joel, but you've got a Billy Joel cover band that acts like Billy Joel and sounds like Billy Joel.
No, you would go? You probably would go. Actually,
I do not. I despise is too strong a word, but I do not like it. But I'm going on a cruise soon.
You said that about green eggs and ham too. I do not like it.
But then I tried it, and I did. I'm going on a cruise soon, and now this is a different vibe.
You're going on a cruise soon?
Going on a cruise in July. Now, we're in July.
Wow.
So here's the
God
thing.
bless.
Yeah, thank you. We're taking the chance. We've had this thing booked for since before the pandemic, so you can't let it go. And the time to adjourn.
Oh, you can let it go.
Well, you're gonna lose
but you're choosing not to.
Correct.
All right.
Now, on that cruise, there is a cavern. So you go in, and it's built with the arch and everything, just like where the Beatles started out. And
the cavern, you mean Liverpool?
Yes, yes. And there is...
What is it? What kind of cruise are you going on?
No, they just have a nice something here. Now, I'm trying to ask you a question that I don't know how to phrase. When we go on that cruise, there's the cavern. There's a Beatles imitation band. Now, there's no... Oh, well, you can see McCartney and Ringo, but you're not going to ever see the Beatles. Does that have... And I want to bring my son because he loves the Beatles. I think we're going to go there and watch that band every so often. Does that put a different light on the imitation band when you're imitating someone that actually doesn't exist anymore? Or do you still have no interest in it?
I don't know. I guess it depends, because I've seen these, Beatlemania type bands before. They could do a decent job, but yeah, knowing that you'll never really see the Beatles, if they do good versions of the songs, I guess so. It would really depend on, the artist that they're covering, and so listen, I've seen Beatlemania, so I guess here I am talking down the whole concept, but I actually have been to those, and
right.
they're not terrible.
And the third prong to this is, and now what about the next generation? Do you think, and we'll find out, and I'm sure it's subjective, of course, but if that band is really good, will that turn Leo on to, my son, that's 10, on to the Beatles more? Or is it just going to be like, okay, let's go to the slides? Like, I'm just curious. I will find out what the effect of now third generation or whatever, maybe second generation.
I think if he likes the Beatles now, that's not going to sway him one way or another.
But it might light a little bit of a fire. I don't know, like actually seeing them play and perform. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Let's take a look at some. Want to go time travel? How about? Do you remember this band?
Meeting you with a view to a kill, face to face in secret places, feel the chill.
Of course, from a James Bond movie, View to the Kill. Last Roger Moore movie was not that great, but I'll go beyond that and say, do you remember? Oh, you know, of course, the name of that band.
That was Duran Duran.
It is. He was huge in the early '80s, early to mid '80s, right? Do you realize
they still have quite a following?
And that's interesting because they're going out on tour this summer.
Yeah.
And I just want to add one caveat. They are also, if it hasn't happened already, going to be in 2022. They are going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do they deserve that standing to stand next to the giants of rock and roll or not? You tell me.
Well, I think they do. I was never a big Duran Duran fan, but I appreciated what they did and what their music, the impact it had at the time. And they were a pretty influential band. So, yeah, I think so. Sure.
And now the tour's coming around, let's say, to a club in New York City or even Madison. I don't know if they could sell Madison Square Garden, but whatever. Would you go?
No, like I said, I was never a big Duran Duran fan, so I didn't see him the first time around. I don't think I would now. But there were bands in the 80s that I think were probably more deserving of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm not sure they're in it. But those bands, for the most part, you can't really see anymore because they broke up and they just, So the cool thing about Duran Duran is that I could be wrong, but I think most, if not the whole band, is together.
I agree. Let's ask you a question about this one then. Now, I didn't look it up. Are the B-52s in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't think they are.
I don't know. They should be.
And I don't think they are. And they should be, yes. And I've invited all of them individually onto the show. I've had some communication with the one that wow, I'm really bad. I can't remember the name. The young lady that sings, or the woman with the black hair, the big bouffant. The heck is her name?
Yeah, I don't remember names.
She's running a hotel, a bed and breakfast, I should say, maybe a motel, something of that nature in Maine. And
wow,
I reached out to her there, pretending to.
They were what? I love the B-52s.
Love to have them on the show, and I would go see them. They would be definitely worthwhile. They're a fun band. They've always been fun, zany, off the beaten path, right? And quality, real good stuff. All right, we'll be back right after this. Everything Old is New again to continue talking concerts that are available out there in the summer of 2022.
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, honored by their country, decorated by their queen, and loved here in America, here are the Beatles.
The Beatles with David Cohen, Douglas Viviani, Everything Old is New Again. We're talking all things concerts 2022. Why am I playing a Shea Stadium concert from the Beatles 1965? David Cohen. The proposition of this section is going to be, what is, and I guess I'm going to have to say objectively, the best concert of all time versus what concert would you have wanted to have seen that you did not see? And I've got a list here I'm going to go through. And I'm going to plant the seed in the back of your mind to think of what is the best concert you saw personally. And I think you may have answered this when you said Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, but maybe not. No, you said Earth, Wind, and Fire, actually. Correct?
Yeah, that was up there, yeah.
All right, so think about that. I'm going to throw out about 20 names of artists/concerts, and stop me anytime you like. I'm going to go up the list of what is out there as to some of the best concerts, objectively speaking, performed of all time. How is that? Is that interesting?
Where did you get this list you're about to read?
Oh, I can't reveal that. Are you kidding?
So this isn't your list.
This is a list
through research that you did.
Yes.
Okay.
I have the list.
The first site where
I didn't create it. You can see that.
Yeah, no. I'm glad you didn't create it.
Someone's list.
God knows what would have been on that list.
But I did edit it. There's 100. I'm going to just tell you about 20 of them.
Oh, God, you edited it. Okay.
You ready?
That's good to know going in.
Yep.
All right.
Number one. This is now from the bottom up, let's say. So this is like, and maybe 20 or something. Hey, how about The Clash, New York City, 1981? It's something I would have liked to have seen, by the way. Right?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Right. How about Van Halen in California World Music Festival, 79? They were there with Cheap Trick, Ted Nugent, Journey, Aerosmith, Eddie Money. That's some festival. Holy smokes. How do we not hear about that one? Still not getting attention.
I have to tell you that of all the tours and the concerts, Ted Nugent still has the best theme for any concert of all time.
What is that? What was the theme?
Intensities in 10 cities.
Ah, I like that. Did he really stick to 10 cities?
I imagine he did, because that was the name of the tour.
Well, it could be 10 cities in New York, 10 cities in California, but okay.
We could dissect it, but that kind of takes away the effect of what a cool name that was.
It was cool. How about Live at Budokan, Cheap Trick, 1978? You're not getting it.
Nah.
How about
that's something you better hear on vinyl like we used to.
How about Bruce Springsteen, Nassau Coliseum, 1980? Remains one of the longest concerts of his career. Went past midnight with an amazing version of Rosalita. And it went on and on and on. You're not interested, not thinking, okay.
No, yeah, I've seen him. Sure.
Could he be the best?
I saw him around that time.
Could it be the best concert of all time, though, just because it's long? I say no. How about Janis Joplin in the Monterey Pop Festival? Do we go too far back with that?
Sure.
No idea. You have no clue. How about
What do you mean I have no clue? What am I supposed to be saying?
You put your hand to your head. Name me one song she sung during that. That's what I'm saying. Ball and Chain she did. I know that.
Well, I imagine she did a few.
This one I think lots of people...
I'm sure she went through her hits.
The three of them. Now, listen, I have...
Three of them, wow.
Name three of them.
Are you trashing Janis Joplin? Is that what's going on?
I sure am.
Why?
Because I can, just to get some rise.
No, I mean, is there rationality, or you just feel like trashing?
I want to get a rise out of you and get you riled up, but it's not happening. All right, how about this? How about, because you're not that invested in Janis Joplin. Yeah, she was wonderful and everything else. I get it, but okay. Nirvana, 1993 MTV Unplugged.
I would have liked to have been in the studio, yeah.
All right, there's one. The Police, Shea Stadium, 1983.
The Police, Shea Stadium, 83. I don't know if I would have seen him in Shea Stadium now.
I was there.
Were you?
Yes, I'll tell you. Very quick story, very quick. I worked for Hertz Rent-A-Car at the time. We were transporters. It meant that if someone needed a car in Riverhead, at another location, we had to bring, and that location did not have cars, we would drive the cars out, like three of us in a car, or three different cars, and then one person would drive, drop two cars off, and one person would drive another car back.
I remember when you were doing that, yeah.
So we get a call. I get a call. I was way up on the list on seniority, and I get a call on a Saturday night. Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, we have a special trip. We've got to go out to the Hamptons. Do you want it? I'm offering this only to people that have... And this has never happened. You would usually just show up to work. So I said, yeah, I'll do it, whatever, okay. Because it was good money, get paid by the mile. It was a good thing. We take a trip out to the Hamptons. This gorgeous, beautiful house, this driveway like you can't believe, like a half-a-mile driveway. Get into this location, not that long. And we deliver just one car. So it's me and just my friend Larry, two of us. All of a sudden, out of the house comes somebody. So out comes some guy, some thin guy with long hair, walking out of this house. And as he gets closer, we kind of recognize... I'm looking at him... And he's got an envelope in his hand. He comes to... there's just two of us standing there. He says, hey, guys, how are you? You from Hertz? Yeah. Delivering this to the vehicle, whatever. Okay. Hey, I got a little something for you. He gives us this envelope. We don't know what's in the envelope. We don't care. We don't think anything of it. And he's kind of recognizable, but kind of not, this guy. And so we... All right, yeah, thank you, whatever. And we get in the one car, we leave the other car, and we take off, we go back. And as we get in the car... I tear open the envelope, and there are 4 tickets to see the Police at Shea Stadium on August 18th, 1983. And there's a piece of paper underneath the tickets. I unveil it. It's like a little scrap of paper. Unveil it. I should have saved it. Man, my buddy saved it. We open it up. He goes, thanks for the effort, Stuart Copeland.
Really?
Yes, we didn't even recognize him. He gave us a freaking ticket.
Oh, so it was Stuart Copeland that came in.
He's the drummer. Like, you're like, I don't reckon, especially back in the day. That the album cover, you sort of recognize, but he wasn't a household name.
Right.
You're like, what's this guy? So
cool.
The Police was staying in the Hamptons, and he comes out and gives us tickets. Great seats, Shea Stadium. Go that night. It was an event. That
was nice of him. I mean, that's very
beyond
thoughtful. A couple of Hertz guys showing up in a car. You give them tickets.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It was very high on my list of what would you say, superstars or stars or anyone that has done something for me or anyone that I've heard of. That was over the top. Those tickets were like...
That really is.
In today's dollars, those tickets are probably $500 each. We were down on the floor and everything else, Anyway, whatever. So there's that.
So you went. You didn't sell the tickets.
I was very tempted. I was very tempted to sell the tickets. We had 4, so we could have sold 2, and the 2 of us.
Yeah, you could have sold 2 if you wanted, right?
We didn't do it, but you could. How about this concert, 1968?
I'm all shook up. Bustle my soul, what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a man on a further tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm all shook up.
Elvis has come back. Do we put that on the list? Would you have wanted to seen that?
I would have wanted to see the warm-up he did, which became legendary. Maybe not stayed for the main show, but the warm-up he did, where it was just him and his band, just 1 or 2 guitars, and he was doing some oldies. That was amazing, just to see it on video. I can't imagine just being there. That would have been incredible.
Yeah, and a comeback of comebacks back in the day. That was an important concert for him, for sure, right?
Yeah.
All right. How about Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison? Would you care about that?
Sure. I mean, I'm not sure I would have wanted to be a prisoner in order to see him, but it would have been nice to be there.
Wouldn't want to be in the audience for any other reason than taping it, let's say. Here's one I know you would want to go see. Hammersmith Odeon, 1973, David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust. No? Yes?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Why would you
I really
want to see
regret
that?
never seeing him.
Why would you want to have seen that, Ziggy Stardust? That was the last time he performed as Ziggy Stardust.
You know, it's been like 50 years since the release of that album. Wow. It's crazy.
All right.
Well, I mean, Ziggy Stardust, that started the whole, that launched his career or took it into orbit and started the whole glam rock trend, which became very influential. And I mean, it's one of the greatest albums of all time.
There you go. All right. Last but not least are these few here. The Who, 1970 in the University of Leeds. I don't know. How about James Brown, the Apollo Theater in 62? We can't get into too much of this now. Queen at Live Aid. We can get into that. And they're saying, drum roll, the best concert of all time? The Jimi Hendrix Experience Monterey Pop Festival. Do you agree or not?
Were these people actually at these concerts? Whoever wrote this, or they were just like pulling off based on what they've read?
That's what They have comments, the little blurbs underneath every one of these to give you why this would be the greatest and so forth. But
because to put together a list like that, I think you really would have had to have been at each of these. Well, I mean, I can't imagine anyone would have, but...
I think you get tapes of a lot of these, don't you? There's a lot of tapes of all these different concerts. All right, we'll be back. We'll continue with something else. Continuing talking about summer concerts. That didn't go over too well. 2022, we'll be back. Right at this. Everybody else, do it. These days, the news is full of teen suicide, drug and alcohol abuse, bullying. It's depressing and concerning, but there is hope. WWE Intercontinental Champion Mark Merrow.
Champion Choice is a live presentation that empowers students to make positive choices and live their best life. I teach students how to live a drug-free life, prevent bullying, avoid peer pressure, and keep negative people out of their lives. We are defined by our choices. There is hope.
To schedule a Champion of Choices presentation for your school or organization, visit thinkpaz.org. That's thinkpaz.org.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again, with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
I paid my dues, time after time. I've did my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. We're talking concerts 2022. No, Queen is not coming around that I'm aware of. However, I want to just talk about for a moment with David Cohen the big concert scene. These 100,000 people, these 500,000 people, outdoor concerts in Hyde Park and all these locations, Woodstock and Live Aid. Generally speaking, I don't think they're a great experience, but I think they might be one of these things where you have to go to say that you went to them. I mean, there are people still talking about Woodstock all this time later that they were there, and I'm sure there was, 500,000 at Woodstock? I bet you, if you really think, the people say that they were at Woodstock is probably 5 million, right? Just to say they were there. What is your thought about these huge bands at these huge concerts?
I don't know. Just
what is the biggest?
Yes, it all happened.
What's the biggest you've been to? Just like a Madison Square Garden type of thing?
You mean single concerts?
Yeah,
like in the last
in your life. Like the Stones in '69 played Hyde Park for 500,000.
But you're going back you and I weren't even around when this stuff was happening.
All right. Well, how about the Stones in 2006? Played for 1.5 million people in Rio.
I thought you were still on the Woodstock, the big festival thing.
Well, that
okay.
1.5 million is huge.
Yeah. Okay. No, I would. If you're asking me, I would see a band in an enclosed concert hall. I don't like seeing. Like I've been tempted to go to, some of these outdoor festivals, which are all really popular, and they take place all over the country. Where there's lineups of at least 20 bands that play, and I've been tempted to go to them. And one of the reasons that I don't is because I just don't like the acoustics in an outdoor concert. I just don't think it's the same as watching them indoors in a more intimate place. And I'm not even talking about Madison Square Garden. I'm talking about like real small venues that are set up acoustically so that you could, really appreciate the music. That's where I like to go and see bands. So I don't know if that answers your question. But...
Well, there's nothing wrong with that answer. I appreciate that. But the question is now we beam you into one of these places that has got, 250,000 people watching a lineup of performers that, let's just say, you like. But that experience unto itself, standing there, going to a porta potty, trying to find a place that's comfortable, standing with all this humanity around you.
No.
Yeah, I agree, but they go on and on. These concerts exist, and people do them, and, I think they love them. They camp out and all this stuff. So there's something to it, but I don't know. How about when
I was never into it when I was younger. So if I was younger now, I probably still wouldn't be into these shows. I might go to one for the experience, but I seriously doubt I would like it.
Well, how about like an outdoor facility like a Jones Beach, which is, and across the country, I'm sure they have them everywhere, outdoor facilities that have 3, 7, 10,000 people. I think Jones Beach is like 8,000, something of that nature.
That's fine, sure.
But it's outside, you don't like the acoustics or whatever, but you'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot, yeah.
Right. So I would too. I went to see, well, you know this, it's not a story, but you know the situation where I went with Angelica when she was 10 years old, outdoors to New Jersey to see Leonard Skinner, because we used to play there all the time when she was growing up. And it was, of course, was not the greatest concert in the world. It was good. It only had one original member of Skinner there, plus the brother of the singer and all of this. But, well, let's just play a little smidge for a second, get a little ambiance of what it was like.
And listen closely, oh baby, to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Ah, yeah.
All right, so we were there, and this 10-year-old knew most of the Skinner songs, liked them, in a crowd of mostly, if not all, adults. There was some kids, but so it was a unique experience. Bringing a child now, having to send her into the bathroom and wait outside and make sure she comes out, and all this was not fun. Didn't think about that aspect of it, but it worked out okay. It was a small enough venue; it wasn't really that intimidating. But I think, to me, the outdoor concert experience is more of an experience than listening to the quality of the music, as you say, which I get is definitely not going to be great. But she still remembers that to this day, and sometimes you could share a concert experience better than just listen to this album, listen to this song kind of thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I think
it's better to see it live than not, no matter what the venue is. Yeah.
I agree, especially to get a feel for and connect with whoever's performing and try to get a feel for, who's this one on the guitar, who's that one on the drums, whatever, and how they present themselves. The other side of the fence is sometimes you go or you hear a live performance. In the annals of live performances, Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven at Live Aid 1985, they even say it goes down as one of their worst performances. Imagine getting all hopped up to see that, and then you hear this.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stars are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for.
That doesn't really sound that bad, but
what was that?
That was
what was I listening to? Was that supposed to be bad?
That's what I'm saying. That was Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, Live Aid '85. The word is that the band absolutely hated that performance. Thought that Jimmy Page was not at the top of his game, and I don't know if that clip actually shows that. He sounded
good to me.
Yeah. So that's the question is. I would go to see one of these older bands, even if they're not at the top of their game, to experience and get the vibe even years later, if they're together like Zeppelin was. I mean, not one of these.
To get the vibe of what?
Just feel like they're on the way down. They're older. They're in their 70s. They're but this maybe they don't have the same voice. They don't have the same quality, but they're still together per se. I'd like to still get a feel like. It's almost like history. Is it
because you didn't see them at their peak?
I never could see Zeppelin in the early 70s, So I would have liked to have seen them even at Live Aid or something like that.
Yeah, sure. I think in that instance, sure, why not?
Especially when the band is still there. But okay.
Yeah.
Now,
but that's all fine and good, and it's nice to go, down nostalgia lane and listen. But there's so much good music out there now, and just go to a concert anywhere, whoever the band is. And I'm not talking about these dinosaur bands that are doing reunion tours. There's so much good new music out there right now.
Right, and that's what I want to do.
Go see it. Just even if you don't know who it is, go to concerts. It's back. It's coming back, and it's great. It's nothing like live music.
Exactly. That's what I want to do when we get back, is see if there's any that we can find that are of a new the next generation, if you will. I've got a list of some here. We'll see. Of performers that would be worth our while to get reinvested in some brand new music, new stuff, new vibe. What's it all about? David Cohen is our leading gentleman, if you will, expert, I'll say, on that. Do you have any that come to mind off the top of your head?
No.
All right. Well,
I'm going to listen to what you present, and I'll, as usual, I'll make my snarky comments about it.
But you'll have to help me out, because I don't know them. Like, I don't know who some of these Lil Baby. Pharrell, I know. Pharrell. What's this guy's name? Pharrell. The guy with the hat. He's on tour. Is that worthwhile?
Okay. Sure, if you like him.
Well, let's presume we're talking to people that really aren't exposed to the songbook of these people, right?
No,
so it's not really worth it if you don't, like I say, Franz Ferdinand. Who's that?
Really?
You know him? You know Franz Ferdinand?
They've been around for a while.
And should I go?
Yeah, they're good. I like them.
They have anything that we would recognize? Anything that we could get hopped up about?
I don't know if you would recognize it. Why don't you, during the break, why don't you just Google them and whatever top song comes up, just give it a quick listen. How about that?
I don't want to. How about Bad Bunny? How about Bad Bunny? Who's Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny, yeah. I like Bad Bunny.
All right. I mean, who's Lil Nas X? Who's that?
Lil Nas?
Yeah, who's that? X10.
X? I don't know the X.
Are we going over big here? With any of these was selling any of these? My Chemical Romance. Who's that?
Yo, that's another band that they've been around for a little while.
All right, so maybe we should look that one up. All right, we'll come back. We'll do some research. We'll be back right at this. Everything else is new again.
Do some research on the break, and then we'll come back.
This is Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Hi, this is Don McLean, and you're listening to Everything Old is New Again.
How about that? Don McLean. Bye-bye, American Pop.
Yeah. We interviewed him, baby.
We did. We've been there. Done that with many, and I'm enjoying going back in time a little bit, talking to David Cohen and the future, talking about 2022 concerts. What are we trying to do? Let's get out there and enjoy it. I want to do a smidge, cut 1 minute on trivia that I have here from Woodstock. Kind of interesting stuff. You ready for this? Zeppelin was asked to perform, but they said no, just because they're going to be another band on the bill. They didn't like it. Procol Harum was invited to Woodstock, but fell at the end of their long tour, and they also denied or said they weren't going to go. That was a mistake for them, don't you think? Their career didn't take off after that. Here's cool. Roy Rogers was asked to close out the festival with Happy Trails, but declined. That would have been kind of interesting. Right? Stones were invited, but they declined, as did Simon and Garfunkel, and Frank Zappa as well. All turned it down. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of those huge things. I don't think I would go, but I do want to go to see something new this summer. David Cohen, we've looked up some in the in the break there, some different tours and things, and Bad Bunny, I would say I'm not going to go, but if you like rap, that what would you say, Hispanic rap? Is that how you define it?
Sure.
It sounds like he's got his act together. He's doing some stuff there. Not exactly what I'm for, but that's okay. How about Kid Cudi? Who's that?
That you got me. I don't know.
Halsey? Ever hear of him? No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something good here. The Black Keys. Who are the Black Keys?
Come on, you don't know the Black Keys?
I don't know the Black Keys.
All right.
Is it something to go? Did we go to see that?
I don't personally like them, but they've got a huge following. You'd probably like them because they're like sort of a throwback kind of blues-based
all right
duo.
How about Sharon Van Etten?
Oh, yeah.
You would see Sharon Van Etten.
Indy Darling. Yes, she's great.
All right, well, there's one. Sharon Van Etten with Julian Baker and Angel Olsen. Do you know any of these people?
I just know
Sharon.
No,
right.
I don't know the others.
How about The National?
Yo, they've been around forever, man.
All right, they're going to be around in Chicago.
It's probably more like your music too.
Well, I'll go to Chicago to see them in July 15th to 17th at the Pitchfork Music Festival. No, I probably won't. I don't like these festivals.
Well, Pitchfork's that's a big one.
I just like to be able to relax, you know? Like I got to go to the porta potty and wait in line and all that. It's just not my
Listen,
thing.
I'll take you to a show. I know a band that's really good starting out, and they have great live performances. So next time they're in the city, I'll let you know if you want to schlep in.
I do want to schlep in, and I would see that, yes. How about Rosalia? Have you heard of them?
Rosalia? No.
All right. Just trying to throw it out there. Like, why are we struggling so much? How about Roxy Music? How about that?
Well, it can't be. Roxy Music, but is it really Brian Ferry?
Yeah, it's a 50th anniversary arena tour from September 7th to October 14th.
Sure, I'd see that. I'd see them.
St. Vincent is the opening act. I'm not sure.
St. Vincent's great. She's great.
So that could be a good one for you.
I think, yeah, I like that.
All right, but it's a little out of the summer, but it's okay. September would be the way to go there. All right. How about Stevie Nicks, Eddie Vedder, and Jack White and Pink are going to be performing in a festival, another one of these festivals in California in August. The Judds are going on tour. Now we're getting back to different, What about Green Day? You still feel like Green Day would be somebody to see these days? They lost it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if I would see them in concert, but
okay. How about Wu-Tang Clan?
Wu-Tang Clan. You should go to that one.
I don't know. What do they like? What is Wu-Tang Clan? What is it?
It's rap.
Yeah. Okay. I would go to that to get the hot dog or the hamburger they're selling, and then leave. The I don't know if I get Interpol and Spoon. Who's that?
Wow, Doug, man, come on. These are not new bands. Number one, they've been around for a long time. Interpol was a very influential band back in the 80s. And what was the other one?
Spoon.
You'd like Spoon. Spoon's more like kind of pop rock.
Okay.
You would like them.
I'm circling them, and I'm going to.
Spoon's been around forever.
So maybe I should go to that one. End of August. All right, there's a few there.
That sounds more up your alley.
But the Black Keys. I mean, what's that?
You might like that. It's it's like a throwback kind of blues rock thing.
Okay. So there's enough here to dive into and to say, you know what? Take a listen. Take a listen first on wherever you're going to listen to your music first, and if you like them, I want something new. Alanis Morissette is coming around. We know that.
That's not new.
So I'm saying that's not new. Roger Waters is coming around. That's not new. Maroon 5's not new. Lady Gaga's not new. But they're all coming around. But I would like to go into something I've never seen before, like these bands.
Well, come into the city and see this band called Laszlo and the Hidden Strength.
All right. Laszlo and the Hidden Strength I will be in on for sure. And Interpol and Spoon I'm going to try. Duran Duran's coming around too, by the way. I think we talked about that. Would you see them? I actually would go to that.
Yeah, it's piqued your interest?
It has piqued my interest. I don't know. You tell me. Would you? Are you done with them?
No, I wouldn't see them, but...
No. Dave Matthews?
Oh, wow. Yeah. You've never heard of Dave Matthews?
I have. I'm not so sure I would care about it.
Yeah.
Nora Jones, 20th anniversary,
That
Come
would be
Away
cool.
With Me. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's really grabbing us, though, right? I mean, what's Glass Animals?
That's another, indie kind of band.
Okay.
90s.
Machine Gun Kelly?
That's more like rap.
How about Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, I guess I would see them. Yeah, I've never seen them.
All right. That guy's going to take his shirt off, though, right? He's going to be shirtless the entire time, bouncing on the stage?
It's okay.
It makes me crazy. Come on. More or less, it makes me jealous. I should be honest about.
Yeah, at that age, if you're still able to do that,
exactly.
Why not?
Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. What's that going to be like?
Robert Plant.
Is he going to play?
I have no interest in seeing that guy. Sorry.
You don't like him? He's too esoteric. What is he? Too?
I appreciated Led Zeppelin. I was never really into their music.
Right. I get it. All right. I mean, I've Stevie Nicks is out there. Rod Stewart's out there. Tenacious D. Is that really a band?
Tenacious D.
Yeah,
really?
They're going around.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Yeah. I don't know. Is he he is serious about his music?
Yeah, but the music is, there's humor in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not straight, serious music.
I would give that a shot if it was around the corner, Anyway, all right. Well, listen.
You don't sound too jazzed about the concert scene coming up.
No, I really am. I'm not. I'm not jazzed about it. But I'm thinking maybe Interpol and Spoon may turn it around for me.
You listen to. I think you'll like Spoon. You should listen to them.
All right. And what's that other band you mentioned again?
Laszlo and the Hidden Strength. That's the one. You're coming into the city with me. We're going to go see them.
Definitely. Young kids on stage doing their thing. Do they have any way to listen to them now?
Yeah, they have an album out right now, but they're about to drop another one. But it was independently produced, so they're looking for a record label right now.
Okay,
a real label.
Oh, it sounds like
and they don't want to release the new album until they get signed with a new label. But
right.
They are touring, so
I'm in. All right, let's go back in time for a moment to where I was hopped up. The Police at Shea Stadium. Let's just hear what this was like. I was there. I was one of these lunatics screaming. Hear those drums? I met the drummer doing that.
That's your boy.
Now's the time.
Yeah, to do what? Yeah?
You have to prove yourselves yet again.
Oh, no. This is David Cohen. Do you like that? You're in the audience. You've got to participate. They make you clap and all that. I can't stand that.
I didn't come to participate with the band. I came to hear the band.
Exactly. I hate when they turn that microphone to us to sing some of the song. Right. And you're like, no.
Hey, what about, I have an old dinosaur band that you didn't mention. I wonder if they're touring again. What about U2?
Yeah, not touring. Not touring. I would see them.
That was also one of the top shows. I saw them 20 years apart. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Oh man. And which was better? Did it matter?
Equally good.
Wow.
Equally good.
Yeah. But they became better musicians, I would assume, later. No? Early on, they were learning their instruments. It depends on when you saw them.
Yeah, I saw them during the Joshua Tree tour, the absolute height of the popularity.
Yeah, then they were great back
But
then.
literally 20 years later at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
And they were just as good.
Listen, bottom line is, roll the dice. Who cares? Get out there and hear a music. You don't like it, go to the bathroom,
Exactly.
Come back, get a beer. Like, just enjoy it. There's going to be something you're going to like about a live show. I don't care what it is.
And however you feel about, rap, if you would go see Bad Bunny, I think you would have a good time.
I'd have a good time making fun of Bad Bunny, but okay.
You'd be bopping around. You'd be like, all right, you know why? Because it's live music.
Correct.
And it almost doesn't matter what you're listening to.
And it's like we said, it's the experience, man. That's what you want. You just want to get out there and do stuff. All right, come on. It's time, right? We're opening up the world again. Let's hope and pray and do and participate. Right. We'll be back next week, and everything old is new again.